Hello again. So this is Christine Renee and the Reiki Cafe answering your questions. So Charlotte asked, how can Reiki help with vestibular migraines? So migraines and me, we've had a long relationship. And I know it's very, very common in our culture and amongst women in general. And so there's just so many avenues that cause migraines. So the first question you need to ask when it comes to migraines is, what are your underlying triggers? Because they are vast and numerous. So Reiki helps the body, mind, and spirit, and that's why I love Reiki, because it can really heal on any level, wherever it needs to go. And so I always say yes to Reiki when I'm in the midst of a migraine or about to get a migraine or coming off of a migraine. Yes, yes, yes to Reiki. But I want to dive a little deeper, because migraines just do have so many avenues. And so when I wrote some notes, because it's like, oh my goodness, you need to look at inflammation factors in your body. Inflammation can be caused by so many different things, but if you know what your triggers are to inflammation, that's going to be huge. So there's so many of us in our society that if it's gluten, if it's alcohol, if it's, whatever we're putting in our body that our body is rejecting, and then your body is swelling up with inflammation, like that's a huge trigger for migraines. So food sensitivities, you need to watch out for those. I recommend going to a naturopath and getting the little blood test to see what your triggers are. For like me, eggs are huge inflammatory. Gluten is a huge inflammatory. But because I have so many antioxidant and anti-inflammatory food in my diet, I can now, after a year of being off eggs, I can now slowly integrate eggs back in my diet. So it's like, the key is getting the inflammation down. A lot of women who get migraines, the underlying cause is hormones and hormone imbalance. So what's going to balance your hormones? So taking all of the toxins out of your diet and out of your cosmetics and out of your soaps and out of your anything that's causing a hormone reaction. This is huge. This is huge. This is why it's important to have a toxic-free home, because so many of these are causing hormone imbalances in women, and causing infertility and causing migraines and causing, so you need to like watch your products. So if you have lauryl sodium sulfite in your products, like that's a huge hormone trigger, imbalancer. And so there's a few things that you can do for both inflammation and hormones. And so I'm going to cover some of the products I take to reduce my inflammation, to reduce my triggers. One, I have been to naturopaths looking at all the different factors of food, got those under control. Like to do an elimination diet and you take everything out and slowly put things back in. That's how I started when I was 18. I was allergic to sulfites, or sensitive to sulfites. And so that's wine, that was in sour cream, it was in dried fruit, it was, it's in everything that's commercially produced. So you have to really be kind of careful about what it is. If you have a really widespread diet, it takes an elimination diet. Take everything out. If it's a one ingredient food is what you want to get down to, so that you can eat something and see if you're triggered within 12 hours. So I would have an enchilada and be triggered, and then I go, okay, was it the sour cream? Was it the cheese? Was it the enchilada sauce? Was it the peppers? Was it the tortilla? Because tortillas have sulfites in them as a preservative. So you kind of need to watch that. So then I took out MSG, I took out sulfites, I took out all this stuff preliminary back when I was like 18. So that's when I started getting migraines. Now I'm 35. And so I'm slowly still dialing it down. One of my biggest factors for my migraines, vestibular included, is my liver. My liver isn't the happiest organ in my body, unfortunately. And so I need help with detoxing my body in a gentle way, because what happens is when you have your menses, your hormones fluctuate, and then your liver can't process it fast enough out of your system. So first off, you need to flush and drink a ton of water to help your liver flush it out. Then you can also take some mild liver supporters, right? So liver supporters would be like dandelion root. And one of my favorite products for supporting my liver is my Asante Organics Earth Greens. So this has dandelion root. It's 5.5 pounds of raw, organic, chlorophyll-rich greens. And the thing I like about this the most, on top of having really high quality liver supporting slight detoxing effect, is that it has a charge to it. So we are positive bodies, and this has a slight negative charge to it. And I'm trying to see if I just opened this today. My package came in just like yesterday, so I'm super excited. So you can see how it's got kind of like an electric charge to it. Can you see that, guys? Like, I'm trying to get in front of the camera. See how it's got kind of like, it's kind of popping out. So what this does is that it basically hits, and it tastes good. It hits goes into your stomach, and as soon as it hits your small intestine, it's like instantly absorbed. I can feel this stuff in my body within a half an hour, and I feel great. Should probably take some of this more today. So you have Earth Greens. This is going to help with your hormones and detoxing all the excess, as well as just feeding your body, feeding your system, and really helping. So when it comes to inflammation, that's when I take my Super Reds. My Super Reds, so each scoop is 5.5 pounds. So that one was a little bit smaller scoop. This is all of your super fruits. So it's got the mangosteen, the kia berry, the raspberry. It's got blackberry, pomegranate, blueberry, cranberry, mangosteen, noni, gobi. Grapeseed extract. So this is really good as an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. And between these two, I was able to get off all of my GI medication for ulcerative colitis, and it's tremendously helped my body repair itself so that I get migraines less often. Now, my other favorite is this Bee Naturals. This Bee Naturals is a honeybee product. So it's it's honey, propolis, bee pollen, and royal jelly. And so it comes in a little chewable. It tastes like honey, so it's good. My kids, I have to hide it from them because they'll put like 20 in their mouth, and they're like, no. Not that they ever got sick from it, but they just don't need that much. So royal jelly is huge in balancing your hormones for men and women, both. So I take at least 2 a day every day of the month, and then about a week before my period starts, or really like 4 days before my period starts, I'll up this to like 6 or 8 and just get a huge dose. And I gotta say, okay, I take the reds and greens daily, sometimes the greens twice a day. Sorry, the camera always gets me a little. So I take these every day, and sometimes I take the greens extra. And I just finished my period, and this was my first migraine-free cycle that I can remember. And I've been on these products for, I want to say 8 or 9 months. And but the reds and greens cut down my gut inflammation, so I was off my meds within seriously like 4 months. 4 months and my medication with my ulcerative colitis cost $1,100, which was my pushing factor to get off my meds, because who knows what's going to happen in the insurance industry. So I started taking these, got off my GI meds. I've always taken these. They're called Asante Organics, Tina. So Asante Organics, and I'll put in the comments. Here, I'll do it right now. I'll put in the comments where to find your product. But holy moly, it has rocked my world. Organics.com. And then you can just find my page at Christine Renee. Okay, so you want to check out those. If you have migraines, you just really need to feed your system. The other thing I take daily is magnesium. Now, before I started Asante, I literally had a handful of pills, vitamins and pills that I would take every day, like probably 20 different things to try to figure out how to reduce my migraines. I mean, this has been 15 years of studying my body, more than that, on how to get rid of my migraines. And so I think I'm finally dialing it in. It's like, one, get the inflammation out of your system, get the toxins out of your household, and then really feed your body so that it can regenerate and it can balance and the inflammation can get the hell out, right? The other thing when it comes to migraines, and this is where it's key for Reiki, is that two of the most common triggers are stress and tension. So when we're stressed out, we scrunch our neck, our blood isn't flowing, everything is like tight. And so the daily Reiki practice, yes, I can practice daily every day, will help with the stress and tension. So with vestibular migraines, this is the one that you feel off balance, you'll get vertigo, you see spots, like it's really intense. And it's not necessarily a pounding in your head. It's like, it feels almost like a stroke, and they're debilitating. And with migraines, it's not like you can take an Advil and a couple hours later, you'll be fine. That's not a migraine. Migraines are, I'm puking, it doesn't matter what I take, I'm going to be in bed for at least 12 hours. And I've definitely had the experience of being sick and in bed from a migraine for up to 3 days, and I'll call helpers in to help me. So the big ones that help me while I'm in a migraine is Reiki masters that are also doing cranial sacral work, Reiki masters that are doing Acunect and body talk. Who else do I call? Breath work and really releasing tension in your body. I've had shamanic healers come over and work on me. And so you want to find, figure out what your triggers are and what helps you the most. And Reiki can just be another tool in the toolbox. It goes back to, I just did a webinar on health and healing with Reiki. It's like, sometimes when you get to chronic illnesses, you have to check all of the boxes. Have I figured out what my triggers are? Have I figured out how to reduce the triggers? How do I reduce the inflammation? How do I change my lifestyle practices so I'm doing Reiki daily and getting the self-care that I need so I'm not stressed out and tensed out? So it's an overall, overarching remedy, and Reiki can be a piece of that. I do believe that Reiki can heal all of it. It can go to the underlying cause. Like if your migraines are initially from past life, if they're from just anything, yes, Reiki is going to help, but I never, ever, ever promise results to my clients because we're not in charge of what's good, their highest good and their highest good of all. And I do believe migraines show up for people so to teach them a lesson. And for me, one of those lessons are to slow down. Because if you haven't noticed, I am usually running. I want to get to all of your questions and I want to help everyone and I want to launch a new product, and I love my work because I love helping you guys. But every once in a while, it's like, I just need to slow down and take a break, and that's okay. And so learning that balance is the lesson. And so the migraine is my vehicle of the lesson. Yikes. Do you guys have lessons like that just kick your butt? Let me see some thumbs up. Oh my goodness. So check out the products. If you have hormone imbalances, if you have dis-ease in your body, these are going to help you find balance. You can also, shoot me some, keep the questions coming, because it's like, yeah, I know, right? Like it's across the board. Like some of this stuff is not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun to have some of these life lessons, but they're there for a reason. And the more you embrace it and try to clean up your system, one of my guides recently told me is that I need to be eating purity of food. Like my food isn't pure enough. And I'm like, you gotta freaking be kidding me. I'm a health nut. I'm a total health nut. Been a health nut for, basically since these migraines have started. I eat organic, I eat raw milk, most people think I'm totally over the top. And then to have a spirit guide tell me that I'm not eating purity of food. She did give me the thumbs up on the Asante Organics, calling these pure food, organic yumminess. So it's like, we just got to watch it. We just have to keep making progress in the right direction and finding that balance. And I would say for someone who gets migraines, to get the Reiki training, because it needs to be part of a daily practice. It really does. And I think people with migraines need to have some type of daily practice, whether it's meditation, whether it's Reiki, whether it's a combination. They need something to chill out and get their nervous system a relaxed state. So that's where, you can add in the magnesium, but that's not enough. And if you're having hormone issues, you need to add in like B6 and zinc to help detox that liver. So that's what I got for today on migraines. If you have more questions on migraines, comment and I will answer as I can. All right, guys, take care.